Hi everyone, hope you all are doing good and well in this time of pandemic. First of all, thank you so much for showing love to Fashion Law Journal, Legal Desire. So we are now in 8th year of publications, and myself Anuj Kumar, I am founder and editor chief at Legal Desire Media Insight and Fashion Law Journals. I am also independent fashion business consultant. I am taking care of the fashion business compliance relating to the fashion field, fashion fraternities, and without wasting much time, let's start with our session. So, the sole purpose of this session is to help those who wish to excel in this field but have no or less idea about this field, what is fashion law, who are the stakeholders, what is the work profile of a fashion lawyer. So, as you can see on this slide, we'll be covering this topic overview about the fashion industry, who are the stakeholders, understanding the field of fashion law, legal issues in the fashion industry, work profile of a fashion lawyer, starting a career in fashion law, what are the academic options available to attain those skills. And before I start my session, it is recommended that you should take notes during the session because there will be less content on the slides and much more in the audio form and much more by a lecture delivery method. So you can take the notes so that it can help you in future. So let's start with the overview. Like generally, the first question is what is fashion? Like you are entering into the field of fashion law, so then you should have an idea about fashion. So what comes to your mind when you hear the word fashion? So maybe brands, clothes, fashion weeks, fashion models, celebrities, glamour, apparel, accessories. So what we can say, fashion is a form of expression. Fashion is what people wear in a specific context, and is if someone is not like updated with that concept, so we can say it is said that it is out of fashion. So something that can be new trend in India can be outdated in European countries. So although the fashion industry firstly developed in Europe and America, it is now an international and highly globalized industry with like for example, if we take an example of a company that can procure its raw material from China and then stitch those material in Bangladesh and then sell in the global market. So this is about industry, like about fashion. What is fashion? If I talk about the landscape, why fashion law is promising field. So if I just give you an overview about the Indian fashion industry landscape, so the domestic textile and apparel industries contributes 2% to India's GDP. So 2% is a lot of amount if we like compared with the GDP, and 7% of industry output in value terms, and 12% of the country export. Then it is the second most largest sector which generate maximum employment after agriculture. And yes, the government of India has also given attention to it, and they have recently announced that to double the industry size by $300 billion by 2025. So 7 mega textile parks are being planned recently under union budget. So you can see how promising this field is because there will be lots of brands are coming up every day, and in the times of pandemic, you see there are lots of new brands are coming up. Though many brands have been shut down due to loss of like financial losses in the pandemic, but you can see there are more fashion brands that are coming up in this pandemic area. If I talk about it, this, so we have talked about what is fashion. So when we talk, so what about fashion law? What comes to your mind when you talk about fashion or fashion law? So there are some myths about fashion law. Generally, like when you search for the fashion law online also, or maybe any other resources, so you see fashion law is all about intellectual property rights. Fashion law only talks about the business of fashion. So these are some myths. So after the end of session, you will have answer uh, to all those questions. What is fashion law all about? What are the core areas? What is the work profile of fashion lawyer? So we have to then debunk this myth. Moving ahead with the stakeholders. So before we move ahead with the work profile of a fashion lawyer, we need to understand who are the stakeholder of this industry. So firstly, we have government. Then we have workers engaged in the manufacturing sector of this fashion brands. It can be textile. If the brand is of textile, we can say clothing brands, and there will be textile manufacturing unit will be there. Then will be logistic, store owners, fashion shows, advertising. For example, even a light man in a fashion shows or fashion photography firm. Fashion designers are also there, fashion models are there, fashion photographers and bloggers, celebrities, influencers, and movie industry, and then logistics, and shopping malls, retail store, and yes, consumers, most important. So these are the stakeholders. So you see, these are the stakeholders, and we have to serve them about their rights, about their about any issues that they face with fashion fraternities. Because being a fashion wear, you have to serve these stakeholders. Then, what are the legal issues? You can see over here. These are the legal issues of this fraternity. Like firstly, corporate law compliances, because if you're setting up a brand, then you need to adhere with the corporate law compliances, maybe registration of a company, be it a private limited company or other type of company. OPC can be there, LLP can be there. Then IPR, intellectual property rights, you have to secure a domain name, you have to secure design registration, patent registration, trade secret, and copyright. Then supply chain issues. So what is a supply chain? Supply chain means the complete process from the raw material to end user product. So the complete process involved, like from raw material procurement to the final review of the product in the hands of consumers. So that is called supply chain. So in supply chain, we have raw material procurement, logistic, manufacturing, franchising, merchandising, licensing, advertising. Then consumer complaints are over there for bad qualities or for delay in delivery. Then labor laws are over there for the workers or for the stakeholders working in these fashion units. Then human rights of those fashion models or fashion, like any of the workers come working in the field of the fashion industry. Then culture appropriation, sustainability, and government schemes. So you have a now idea about what are the legal issues and what are the stakeholders. We'll talk about a work profile of a fashion lawyer, and I'll give you an example from step by step. So, for example, let's take an example of a t-shirt unit. So, if someone wants to start a t-shirt unit, what they have to follow the process of supply chain, and what is the role of a fashion lawyer in this field. So, the fashion lawyer is already a emerging arena of law with ample opportunities for law students and lawyers. Fashion lawyers doesn't only talk about only the registration part or the IP part. So they give their valuable suggestions to the client on legal issues pertaining to the compliances, according to the taxation, also the business expansion, IP monetization, intellectual property, labor law relations, the rights of the workers working in that company or manufacturing unit, and also for the investors and the consumers. So you can see here we have brand setup, the first part. Second, we have supply chain. Third, we have negotiations. Mainly the agreements and the drafting work comes in the negotiation. Then we have business, the business expansion part, and then lastly we have issues. So, for example, I want to start a T-shirt brand. So, firstly, I have to register my company. So, you can see a business. First thing is business plan. So, before setting up a company, we need a business plan. Being a fashion lawyer, you can help your client in preparing of a business plan. What does a business plan include? About the name of a company, about the work area of a company, about the jurisdiction of the company, about the investment, working capital, and everything. Like what the presentation will be there of a of upcoming brand. So once you have an idea about the business plan, so you have to follow that strategy that you have made in business plan. Then when your client is satisfied with the business plan, and they are now going with the next step, that is company registration. Then you have to help them in company registration, maybe private limited company, NLP, or any type of company that will be then again relating to the jurisdiction of a country. Then registrations, registration of that company, and then IP registration. In IP registration, like I need not to tell about it. Trademark, copyright, design act will be there, so that will be IP registration and domain name registration. So then you need to secure a GST number or a taxation number, taxation service, like all of the taxes available, applicable on your fashion brand. And then for setting up a brand, firstly you need a office space also, or maybe a warehouse. Then you need to have a real estate leasing or agreement to be there. So in case you already have a land, then that's well and good. In case you are like taking a land on rent or lease, then you need real estate leasing. Then when you are done with your brand setup, Second part will be the supply chain. You have to, like, your client have to procure the raw material, and now when they're procuring the raw material, there will be a supply chain agreements will be there, sales purchase agreement will be there. So you have to help them in the procurement. For example, if you are importing something from China or maybe another country, then there will be customs involved, and there will be taxations involved. Then you have to aid them in, like, assist them in the procurement system. Sustainability, then we have our environmental laws will be there. Logistic, all the logistic parts will be there for the transit of that goods and material to the, from one country to another country, or maybe from one state to the another state. Then in supply chain also there will be distributions. When you have your product ready, then there will be distribution from that warehouse to your store, or maybe to your warehouse, or maybe from your main store or warehouse to your franchisee unit or store. Then there will be branding also. You have to do branding. It will be marketing, advertising by the way of maybe TVC ad, newspaper ads, online ads, or by the way of influencer nowadays. And then lastly, the delivery to the customer. Now delivery can be of two type. If you are selling your product by the help of your offline store, then delivery by that store. Or if you are opting for e-commerce store, so then there will be e-commerce delivery, and then you need to have a logistic partner, delivery partner. Now, the most important thing about for a work profile of fashion lawyer is negotiations. So, apart from IPR, so this is the main important thing that is negotiation. So, you have to draft a lots of agreement. Like I told you about the raw material procurement. So, there will be sales purchase agreement. Then there will be licensing. Like first part, you have procure a raw material. For example, China. Now you have to find a manufacturer, or you have to find someone, a company, like maybe a group of stitchers who can stitch your t-shirts. And so now there will be licensing agreement between that manufacturing unit and your company. And then you have to share your IP license, because you want your logos to be imprinted on those like finalized t-shirts. So there will be a licensing agreement between you and that manufacturing unit. Then merchandising agreement, franchising agreement, distribution agreement are there. So merchandising agreements are there, like you see the logo of like Puma, Ferrari all together, or Puma, BMW all together. So then these are merchandising. Like you see the merchandise of different brands, or even a movie. So you see the DC Comics logo on a t-shirts and everything. So that is under the licensing agreement as a merchandise. Then for example, if your business successful, your client business is successful from one store, and he wish to extend or expand his business, so you will help them in franchising. So you can help them in providing preparing a franchising agreement. You can announce a franchisee, so it will have like obvious clauses like the minimum investment required, return of investment, and what are the like terms and condition for being a franchisee. Then we have distribution agreement. So distribution from like from warehouse to the other stores, or maybe from a company, or there are distributor also. Then seller agreement, like for example, you might have seen the Flipkart seller, Amazon seller. There are websites, like in case if you wish to sell your product on Amazon India or Amazon UK, so you see there is a separate seller account over there. And while you sign up for this website, you will see a seller agreement is over there, terms and condition. So this type of agreement will be there in case you wish to sell your, like you wish to have some reseller to sell your product, then you can have a seller agreement. Then employment agreement will be there, because you need to hire a workforce. So there will be employment agreement. And then e-commerce policies will be there, like return policy, and the, you can say, refund policy will be there, privacy policy on your website. So this is all about the negotiation part. Then once you are done with your agreement, supply chain, brand setup, so now it's a time for real business. So you will have a workforce. You need to employ persons for sales, for marketing, for advertising, maybe for endorsement. Then there will be IP monetization. So in the first part we have done IP registration, and now we have to do IP monetization. So IP monetization is important because it will give you the revenue. So what we can do in IP monetization, how a fashion brand can earn from IPR, by the way of franchising, by the way of licensing, and by selling their IP. So these are the way like you can monetize your IP. Then taxation will be there. You need to help your client in taxation filings. Then there will be legal compliances, and it will differ from country to country about the compliances over there. And then there will be for business expansion, there will be franchising, because there will be franchising agreement. If your client wishes to expand his brand and wants to have a franchise store, or for international and national trade also, so you need to follow the guideline of international trade of your country and the other country whom your client wishes to expand their businesses. Then fundraising, you need to help assist your client for fundraising, and see the brand setup things, the company registration, IP registration, taxation, and leasing thing. So these are the documents which are required while you will be raising fund, because whenever you are pitching something for an investor, they will be asking for your IP registration. So that is why IPR is important, and it will make you credible enough to get a funding over there. Then there are merger and acquisitions. You need to assist your client for mergers and acquisition. Then advertising and marketing agreement will be there. So there are advertising companies which prepare the TVC, which prepare the graphic design, or maybe ads, posters for your client. So there will be an agreement between those companies and your client, so that uh, they can't misuse your client logos for any other product. Then lastly, we have issues in this fashion industry, like for a fashion brands, what issues you can face, consumer issues you can face. Then there will be Consumer Protection Act will be there, consumer complaint will be there, supply chain issues that I already told. There will be supply chain issues relating to delay of delivery from the manufacturer or maybe from the supplier. Then advertising and marketing will be there. There can be issues or maybe infringement, maybe copyright, in advertising and marketing also. Then counterfeiting is the most serious problem. You have to then like advise your client whether to go in a design act or a copyright act for litigation, or there can be outside settlement also. Then culture appropriation will be there. So culture appropriation means to appropriate in basic terms means to take anything without prior permission, and appropriation of another culture. So it involves picking and choosing only the elements that appeals to your brand and ignoring the rest. So there can be issues about culture appropriation, then labor issues, human rights issues for the workers working in your factories, or like any retail store will be there. Working hours of your workers, employees, compensations, contracts. Like there can be breach of contract, like the agreements you done in negotiations. So there can be breach of contracts. So then there will be issues of contract, and there will be much more issues. So this is an overview about a work profile of a fashion lawyer. So not only this is not limited to only this thing. So being a fashion lawyer, so you need to have a sound knowledge about various type of laws. So now you see, it is not only about IPR. So if you see this slide, so these are complete, you can say, work profile or the subject area you have to master there for being a good and successful fashion lawyer. So you see here the list of detailed work profile of fashion lawyer. If you want to take up this field, you need to have a sound understanding about the following work profile. You can take a screenshot of this slide so that you can it can help you in future. So there will be legal compliances, IPR, IP protections, closed websites, IP monetization, real estate leasing, licensing, endorsement agreement. So you see the this list over here. Now moving on to what are the skills required for this profession. So knowledge of the laws relating to fashion industry, the last slide. Now knowledge about the fashion apparel manufacturing process, the supply chain, and then supply chain issues. What there can be issues in delay of delivery, payment terms, or in defective materials, or maybe in the transit, the goods got destroyed. And then knowledge about the fashion council, like for example India, we have Fashion Design Council of India, self-regulated body. So there will be other council in the other countries. Then knowledge about fashion brands, designer, fashion shows. So if you are entering into this field, at least you should know about the fashion brands, designers, fashion shows. So you should have a sound knowledge about the fashion fraternity. Also, the most important thing is knowledge about the government guidelines and scheme relating to the industry, because each country will have a ministry that relates to this industry. Maybe it can be Ministry of Textile, it can be any other ministry, Department of Apparel. So you need to see about the schemes, because government announces lots of schemes for these sectors, And being a fashion lawyer, you can help your start a fashion brand to avail those schemes, and you can prepare a document project proposal to get those schemes and to get those benefit for your client uh, fashion brand. So this is all about the skills, and now how you can add these skills. Firstly, read more and more about the case studies of the big brands: Zara, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Versace, or any other brand. So read about the case studies, how they started and how they are growing. What is the reason behind success of these brands, of a luxury brand, of a mid-range brand. Then read about the judicial pronouncement relating to the fashion industry, not only the IP but also the agreements negotiation part. Then research and publications. So if you are entering into this field, so you have to prepare your CV according to this professionally. So if, for example, if I'm a company of a fashion brand and I need to hire a fashion lawyer, so I will see your skills relating to my work, my work needs. So I don't want I need to hire two separate lawyers, one for negotiations, drafting work, and one for IP registration. So I need a fashion lawyer. So fashion lawyer means the person having those all required skill in the last slide. So then you should have a knowledge about all this thing, and you can do a research. You should have a publication on your CV relating to the fashion law. Attend more and more events and networking session with fashion fraternity, so that you can get an idea about the fashion industry. Talk with fashion designer, talk with your any colleague or maybe a small scale fashion brand, or visit any manufacturing unit of a fashion brand and see the process over here, how a raw material gets converted into a user and product, what are the compliances over there. Ask them what are the legal compliances you have done to start a fashion brands, what were the document required when you started your fashion brands. So they will give you practical knowledge about these like compliances. Internship, you can go for the fashion brands. You can work with them in their in-house department, and specialized courses in fashion law or law related to this industry. So like there are very less courses about the fashion law. There are only handful of institutions which are like giving good fashion law courses, though there will be fashion law courses. But now you have an idea about the work profile of fashion lawyer. But you see many of the courses online, they're only talking about the IP part, or maybe any other one two or two more thing. But now you know about the skill set required for a fashion industry, and what are the work profile, what are the legal issues. So you need to have a good fashion law courses, so that are being given by Fordham University and Milan Institute of Fashions. So, and also in case, because I understand that there is a problem that the courses of these universities are too expensive and are not in like beyond your reach. So what you can do, you can go for different courses for all the skill set. Like you can go for the IPR courses, or you can attend skills in IPR. Then you can go for courses in drafting of this agreement, commercial agreement. You can learn about the human right, labor law right, for taking care of the workers involved in the fashion industry. So you can attain those skills by the different courses. So moving on to resources, you see there is a list of website, like firstly fashionlawjournal.com, thefashionlaw.com, businessofashion.com, and legaldesire.com/fashion. So you will see the judicial pronouncement relating to the fashion industry over here, also the case studies of the fashion brands, and also the latest trend in the fashion industry and fashion legal industry over there in this website. A detailed resource kit will also be mailed to you after this session, so that you can have a look and you can use those resources. So now you have an idea about the resources, also skills, and how you can add skills. So the next step is to start a career in fashion world. So how you can start a career? So when you have your required skills, and when you have added your skills to your CV also and to your practical knowledge, so you can apply to the in-house counselor or at fashion brands, or maybe a designer house, or maybe you can work with a firms or lawyers specializing in the field of fashion law as their practice area. You can gather experience from different firms, lawyers. So in case you are not able to find any fashion lawyer or a fashion law firm brand, so what you can do, you can you can gather experience from different firms. Like you can do internship in IP, corporate, labor, consumer right, practice area, law firm or a lawyer, and then you can gather your experience. Then you can be an independent consultant, fashion business consultant. You can help fashion startup brand to set up their company, like start from the beginning, very beginning, like registration of a company, registration of IPR thing, design, copyright, everything, and then negotiation agreement, and help them in fundraising and business expansion by IP monetization. So this is how you can start your career in fashion law. So academic options are over here. So specialized course in fashion law. So there is Fashion Law Institute, Fordham University, Milano Fashion Institute, and legal design course in fashion law also. So legal design also introduce certificate and diploma course in fashion law. So right after this session, you will see the promo of those courses, and also detailed brochure of those courses will be sent to you after this session. So I hope you get a sense of an idea about the fashion law, what is fashion law all about, what are the stakeholders, and how you can attain those skills that are required for the this profession. So I hope I have cleared like most of your doubts. In case there are still any doubts, you feel free to contact me. These are my contact details. You can connect me on Instagram or LinkedIn, and yeah, visit our website fashionlawjournal.com. You will see fresh content over there related to the fashion field, and analysis of the judgments, analysis of the policies relating to the fashion field. I hope the session helped you. So you can give your feedback in the question box that you can see over here, and also feel free to contact me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much.